Hello and welcome back to the Great Wall, my friends. This is part C where we create a formula. I love it. All right, so first of all, what you always got to remember is that your iterative function, which is always your coefficient as well, right? Your iterative function is the beginning of any formula. So you can always start your formula out. In this case, we're talking about section numbers. So you can start out as S times your iterative function, right? And that's going to be the beginning of your formula. And then you're going to have to either add or subtract or do something else till you get the correct number. Now, I like to look over here at our coloring here because you've got your coefficient, which we know you're going to multiply by your section number, right? And then you've got your constant, and that's adding 2, right? So you got 1, 2 that you're adding to it. So your formula would be section times 3 plus 2, and that is your formula. Bam. However, we do need to test it. And before we do that, I'm going to actually just write in here that this, if you look here, this is going to be S times 3, and this section here is going to be S times 3, right? Because here we have 1 times 3, right? Here we have 2 times 3, 2 groups of 3, which is 6, right? And then here, if you write S times 3, you're going to get 1 group of 3, 2 groups of 3, 3 groups of 3, which is 9, right? And then here you're going to write S times 3, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 3, which is 12, right? And then what you've got up here is your constant of plus 2, and that never changes. It's right there, it's right there, it's right there, and it's right there, my friends. So what I'd like you to do right now is go ahead, pause the video, and get all this copied. Copy your formula, copy the S times 3 for each section number, right? And then copy your constant for right here for each of those. And then we will test it in a moment, my friends. Alrighty, and here we go. I've written S5 for section 5 right here, and then S6 for section 6 right here, and then S7 for section 7 right here. We'll start with number 5, and we will do the testing of it, right? So first thing I did, actually I've got it right here. So the first thing I did was write the formula S times 3 plus 2. Then I plugged in section number 5 for S, right? And 5 times 3 plus 2. Coming down, order of operation tells me I do the multiplication first. So 15 plus 2. And then 15 plus 2 is 17. And if you look over here, for section 5, it does require 17 blocks. So far I am correct. This is the first part of the test. I got to test it 3 times, and that works. So what I'd like you to do is go ahead and pause the video and copy this, and then we'll move on to sections 6 and 7. Alrighty, so let's move on to section 6 here. And what I'd like you to do is look at what I've done here. So I wrote just the formula, right? So S times 3 plus 2. And then I plugged in the 6 for the section number 6 times 3 plus 2. And then 6 times 3 you do first, and you get 18. Then I drop the plus 2. And 18 plus 2 is 20. And if you look here, that does agree with section number 6 on our T-chart. So that is 2 that are correct. We need 3. And let's do that with our final one, section 7 here. But before we do that, pause the video and copy this test right here onto your paper. Alrighty, and let's rock and roll with section number 7. So first of all you got to do is copy the formula, S times 3 plus 2. Then you're going to plug in 7 for the section number, 7 times 3 plus 2. We do the multiplication first. 7 times 3 is 21 plus 2. And 21 plus 2 is going to give you 23, which indeed does agree with our T-chart. So this is our third test. So we've got 3 in a row that work, and we have just very effectively proven that this formula right here will work for any section number of our Great Wall. So that is all you have to do for this part of the problem. And what I'd like you to do is make sure you have all of this copied and on your paper. And I will see you in the next video. Until then, I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll see you soon.